We are so happy to have our good friend Andrew Hozier Byrne, also known as Hozier.
Hey,
How are you doing?
good man. Thank you for having me.
Good. It's good to see you again. Happy to have you back here.
Thanks.
I guess I should acknowledge our French Canadian fans as well that it's still pronounced Hozier. Yeah, it's a nice hard R on that. I
Yeah.
guess I mean a lot of people still kind of get the confusion with it a
They
little
do,
bit.
and it is originally a name from that originated in France.
Right.
So, like, it totally it would make sense. So it
Mhm.
would have been that Hozier.
Yes.
And then it was Anglicanized at some point. But
Yes.
I go by Hozier for the most part. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're a good Irish gentleman, so of course we
Hey.
got to get that R
That's it.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
But of course, we're celebrating the release of your new EP, Nina Cries Power, which is absolutely amazing. Another 4 songs from you. So,
Thank you.
are you kind of excited to have this new batch of music out?
I am. I'm glad to be kind of releasing music, and I've been working on this stuff for a while, and I'm glad to be doing shows again. And it's a nice reintroduction. It's a nice way to just it's a bit of a sample of some of the stuff I've been working on, and although it's kind of tip of the iceberg for me, it's like for what's to come. It's a good feeling.
Of course. And I mean, you got to work with some amazing legends on this EP, like Mavis Staples, first of all.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
Unbelievable. She's one of the greatest people I've ever met. I have to say, but I haven't, she would be a bit of a hero of mine. But like, just we flew out to Chicago, myself and the producer, and I had shown the track to her and shared it with her, and she dug it and was really up for it. But she's just one of the warmest, kind of kindest, most like generous people I've ever met, and someone who's it's just a joy to be around. It's just a total legend.
I want to pardon the pun here. I mean, Nina Cries Power is such a powerful song, just crying out. So many of these kind of influences. We don't even ask. You can just look at the lyrics of all these people. Nina, Billie Holiday, Mavis Staples, BB, Patty. So many names on this list. Are these kind of the people that influence you? World influencers? Like, how did they get worked into this song?
Yeah. They certainly like musically would be influences, but also I'm kind of like I'm a firm believer in writing music that you wish people were writing nowadays, or you wish you heard on the radio, and I think, and like, although Nina Cried Power is like a very, very hopeful song, some of the other songs aren't as hopeful, but it's kind of was kind of looking at like, where do you begin? We kind of live in fairly uncertain times at the moment, but like, where do you even start to talk about that? And I think for those, that it was just a few artists who lived through very, very uncertain times, and in a lot of ways, much more difficult times and under more difficult circumstances, and spoke honestly and sang honestly and sang out about those times, and if nothing else, there's a starting place, and there's a precedent there, and there's a legacy there that you can draw from,
And so are these a lot of the artists that you kind of introduce you to music and things like that? Or
Some of them, yeah.
Yes.
Some of them certainly. Nina Simone would have been when I was a kid. I kind of got into my dad's record collection, and I had this Nina Simone compilation of some kind. I used to listen before going to sleep all the time. A lot of them then as my tastes kind of formed, but my dad was a blues musician, so I would have started from the blues and then just had a natural interest from there, and then discovered jazz and soul music, etc. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of our initial introduction to music comes through our parents or other people who are influential in our life. And then we kind of get that moment where, you get your first stereo, your first CD, first things like that, and you discover music for yourself. So what was kind of the first music for you that was like, this is my music. This is the music that I listen to.
It wasn't, because at first it would have been like the music that was just being played in the house was like Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and stuff like that, which was
amazing,
cool. But that was just the sound of like what my dad listened to, and it wasn't until I kind of grew up, and then my peers were listening to and friends were listening to modern pop releases, that at the time I had a taste. I had a taste for what was like something far more like visceral and kind of like I was kind of hooked on blues and jazz then, but from a fairly early age, and pop music wasn't really ticking that same box for me. So
Right.
so it was around then I was discovering that more and more, and then getting into classic rock. But Tom Waits, definitely, I remember discovering him as a young teenager, and I just fell in love with something about his work as well
Oh
too.
yeah, just an amazing voice, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a real perfect ugliness to his work, like you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
like yeah,
Yeah, that's like Tom Waits. Like the way he looks is exactly how he should sound. If he looked any other way,
yeah,
that wouldn't be Tom Waits.
no,
You also got to work with Booker T. Jones on this EP,
yeah,
which is amazing. Which, if you don't know Booker T. Jones, Booker T. and the MGs, of course, who did Green Onions, a
Yeah.
very famous instrumental. Look it up right now.
yeah,
But I noticed on the song "Moments Silence" that his influence really kind of like shone through there with kind of the backing, kind of very bluesy tracks. So what was it kind of like working with Booker T?
amazing, amazing. And again, somebody who, like, when I first like heard soul music, I remember hearing like Sam and Dave for the first time, and like Otis Redding, and that was like that would have been a moment where a flip, like a switch is flipped in yourself, and it just doesn't go off again forever. Like it's on, and so being able to kind of, and he would have arranged. He was the Stax, house band leader. So he would have arranged a lot of Otis Redding's tracks. Would have arranged a great deal for Sam and Dave, and played on those. And so being able to like say that to him, he's a total hero. And the first band I was ever in at 15, we were covering MG songs, and
That's
we were
awesome.
and like
Yeah.
it was cool, man. It was kind of, I was kind of in awe of the man, and just like he's a real, there's such genius to the way he articulates harmony, and he's such a lyrical player as well too. But that was a dream come true, and yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Did you kind of do any like fanboy kind of moments, like Mr. Jones, like I played my high school band, played your songs? And
A little bit. I was kind of was after a few days. I just wanted to, give the dude some space. But like we were because we had him for about a week,
Right.
and he's across a good 8 or 9 songs on the album. Like we'd have lunch together every day, and just even just hearing him just talk about his time playing with whoever is just amazing. But definitely on the kind of last few days, being able to say that, yeah, like for me, his work was part of the reason I make music, that kind of way. So like, and that's I don't know, that was super, just being able to.
yeah, you're really like knocking people off of the list here
Yeah,
who you want to
yeah.
work with. So who else is still on that list? I
There's
mean, Mavis
still-
Staples, Booker T. What
Yeah,
else is
Tom
left to
Waits
do?
is next in the.
Tom Waits?
We'll do our best.
Perfect. Yeah.
I've loads. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, I feel super fortunate that I got to work with both those people. Thrilled.
So I kind of want to take us back just a little bit to 2014. Take Me to Church kind of comes out. Now we're in 2018. Kind of, you've had a few years of being up into the upper echelons of things. So what for you was kind of that moment where you're like, oh, I'm a big deal now. Like I'm a thing.
It's never. I don't think that's something you ever experience or you ever internalize. I hope to God, like that never happens.
Well, I mean, I guess egotistically, right? I mean, I'm not saying, oh yeah, I'm a big deal.
Yeah.
Get me this. I'm saying like, you were going home and you walk into your local record store
Yeah.
and there's the album kind of thing.
Yeah.
Did you have any sort of those moments?
That is a good feeling. I think the first time you hear an audience singing back to you lyrics that like deep cuts, like, you know what I mean, like as well too. I think one of the greatest shows, and I was saying this, we did a show in Montreal recently, was like there was a nice experience of hearing Cherry Wine sung back to us, or like doing a show for the first time in as well Mexico City, where like the crowd's first language would not have been English, and
Right.
singing the lyrics back to you is
Yeah.
louder than you've heard them in other cities. Just moments like that, more so. It's kind of like, shit. It's kind of, you're kind of feeling that maybe the work has made its way into people's hearts and minds a bit more than you've considered. Yeah, that's a nice feeling.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you have a full sold out tour, that's not hard to hear that many voices coming back at you.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
by the way.
you.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I was thrilled, and Yeah, and like the support that the fans showed through, and they were very patient, and it was important for me to take a bit of time, after decompress after the last tour was quite extensive.
Hmm.
But like this tour sold out before anyone heard a note of the new music, so it was like the support has been really really special, and yeah, super grateful for that.
Amazing. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I just want to ask one more question about things. So you've put out Nina Cried Power now, which is an amazing EP. Go check it out right now. 4 amazing new tracks. But I gotta wonder with the new EP, what's next for Hozier? This is the EP, couple songs here.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
So in a few weeks' time, we're gonna release another single off the record,
Ooh.
which I am looking forward to because it's one of the ones I'm kind of most proud of,
Yes.
and it's one of my favorite songs off the record. And the video is going to be gorgeous as well too. We kind of there's something nice really lined up for that. I just saw a cut of it the other day, and then the album proper will be coming early next year, so the first couple of months of 2019.
Amazing. Well, we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to the new single. I'm especially looking forward to more people hearing about NW or MFWMB.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
totally.
Which is an amazing track. Look up what that acronym means because it's an amazing song.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Andrew Hozier Burn.
Yes.
And Nina Cries Power EP. Check it out right now.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you.